AITA for leaving the restaurant before my boyfriend's family arrived, after I was told that I was going to pay for their meals. I, F29, have been dating my boyfriend, M35, Ricky for 5 months. He's divorced but hates this word and goes with the word divorcee instead since the first one makes it sound like he was dumped when it was him who initiated it. Anyways, he always go on long rants about his exes and say stuff like I hope you don't have this awful habit my ex has, or hope you like XYZ cause my ex didn't, and the list goes on. I found a second job recently, and he's been having me pay every time we go out. When I protest he'd say he's going through a rough patch and is seeing how much help I can offer. Last night he invited his family to join us for dinner. We got to the restaurant first. He asked me if I brought enough mommy. I said why, and he told me that he told his parents that I'd pay for their meals. I said why would I, and he went on about his parents going through a rough patch just like him. I said I'm sorry, this can't be a coincidence. He asked what I meant, and I told him that I would not be paying. He insisted. I refused and said no. He then leaned back and said, well, you're here, so not much of a choice you have anyway, while laughing like it was funny. I silently got up, took my phone and purse and walked right out. He was shocked. He started shouting after me to stop and wait, but I didn't. I went home and he called me enraged, saying that I did a horrible thing walking out on him and his parents while I could have just paid. I told him that their unfortunate financial situation isn't my problem and that I wasn't obligated to pay for their food. If they couldn't pay for their meals, then they should not go out. He got offended and said, and I count, you're making money a priority just like my ex did, then went on about how disrespectful my attitude was and how I made him look small in front of his parents and forced him to lie about why I wasn't there when they came. We've been going back and forth about it till now. He's mad and is refusing to speak to me till I apologize. AITA, I feel bad because his parents are lovely and I've been doing my best to keep a good relationship with them. OMG, girl, run. This is not a man you want or need in your life. Go, go, go and don't look back, like ever. NTA by a long shot. For real, there are so many red flags here. He compares you constantly to his exes. This is not healthy for you, your relationship, or him. He is financially abusive by forcing you to pay, and if you don't, belittling you. He goes behind your back to arrange payment for his parents' meals out of your pocket, and when you put your foot down he turns it into you being the problem here when it is him. This is classic Darvo behavior. Deny, attack, reverse victim and defender. He is showing you a very clear pattern that is only found in abusers. Leave now. Do not let him back in your life, and know that his exes are his exes because, like you, they finally put their foot down. None of them are likely half as bad as he claims, and I am willing to bet they have very similar stories to yours of abuse patterns. NTA, you're together for only 5 months, and he's pulling this shit. Time to cut your losses. Next. NTA. Oh, the audacity is strong with this one, and the red flags are waving. Girl, just leave his ass. If he expected you to pay for him and his parents once, chances are he'll do it again. Like you said, their financial issues aren't your problem.
AITA for telling the new neighbors that they got what they paid for, including being shunned by the neighborhood. Where I live, real estate developers have started snatching up family homes, bulldozing them and building enormous $2 million houses on the plots of land. The houses also stick out horribly in terms of aesthetics. Think single-level brick homes with a 3-level gigantic white and black box in the middle. My home's been in my family for several generations. We have always been known for having a large, beautiful garden. We invited over kids to help with gardening. We gave away so many veggies, we'd hold parties, etc. It's been a neighborhood treasure for years. Until developers snatched up the lot next door, bulldozed and erected an enormous house that blocked out the light to most of the garden. Many of us tried to fight it with the city, but everything was denied. It was heartbreaking. Our neighborhood has been changed forever. This was a link to my family and I almost have had to go through a grieving process for it. The new owners moved in and were not welcomed warmly by people in the neighborhood. I avoided them for as long as I could, other than politely waving or nodding. It was a young couple in their early 20s. We finally came face to face and the woman asked if we could chat. She said that they felt like maybe they'd done something wrong when they moved in, or if they aren't pulling in their trash bins or something, being too loud, etc., because people haven't been very friendly. The guy says that he's surprised considering it felt like a nice and somewhat affluent neighborhood, and given the price, he was expecting friendly neighbors. I asked if they had done any research about the area. They said that they moved from California, so no. I said that maybe that was their mistake. They said they didn't know what I meant, so I asked if they'd ever looked in our backyard. They said yes and said they think the garden is cute. I said yes, the garden that now has about half less sunlight than before that house was built was a neighborhood treasure. The guy said, well, it's not our fault you built the garden there, is it? I said, well, you guys got what you paid for. $2 million for a house that everyone in the neighborhood hates. I said that I hoped it was worth it and wished them a nice day. When I told another neighbor about the exchange, she told me that she does feel bad for them moving without having any idea what they were getting themselves into. AITA for telling them that they got what they paid for? So you unloaded your pent-up anger at the developers on the couple who unwittingly bought the house? AITA. That couple did nothing wrong. They bought a house that was on the market. Now, if they had been the ones to buy the house land from the previous owner, bulldoze it down, and then build their $1 million mansion, you might have a leg to stand on. But from what you say in the post, the neighborhood is taking out their frustration anger on an innocent couple. Yeah, but I do get why he'd be angry if instead of "oh, we're sorry, we didn't know about your garden," they decided to go with "it's not our fault you built your garden there." AITA, I didn't mean "we're sorry," as in they should apologize. I meant it the same way as you'd tell someone "I'm sorry your cat died." It's a statement of sympathy, not apology. AITA. They just bought a house. Did you research the neighborhood? Is your garden a big thing so well known it's in papers? That people could know about it without having talks with the neighbors before moving in. And specific talks. And even then, they did not design the house. Just bought it. It is not their fault, and you are being angry at them, as if it is. Even if they researched, it's not like the house being on the market or someone else buying the house would have changed the fact that the house existed. No matter who bought the house or if it sat empty, it was blocking the garden. AITA, but you don't have to be. You can fix this pretty easily. Make a pie or buy a small housewarming gift and bring it to your neighbor. Tell them, you know, we fought against a builder who built your home, and it broke my heart when my garden lost its sunlight, but neither of those things are your fault. I should have been a better neighbor, and I'd like to fix that going forward. And then tell your other neighbors that the new neighbors are perfectly nice and that you apologized for the way you treated them. Such an awesome way to turn this around. You are a great dude for this suggestion. They are your neighbor. They wanted to move, saw a house they liked in a neighborhood they liked, and bought it. Your anger is directed at the wrong people. From your description of the conversation, she seems very pleasant and friendly. Whether you like it or not, this is your neighbor. You would both be happier if you can accept them and be a kind person. There is so much change that happens in the world and we have so little control over much of it. Hell, my city has changed dramatically in the last 20 years. It's better to accept change that you cannot control and learn to adjust with it. You'll just make yourself and the people around you miserable if you get angry over the things you can't control and direct your anger at the people who didn't cause the change in the first place.